What's good, family? What's good? Glad y'all here. Gonna have a little story time today. Talk about some things that go on in my life. I have went on in my life, so you're gonna get a bunch of those. But today, I'm gonna take you back to about 9 years ago, and I was working at a production plant in Jarratt, VA, called Boar's Head Provisions. Don't mind me, just taking a little drink. But here we go. Here's what happened. I'm going to take you all back to about 2007 to be exact, because that's when the whole story first got started. 2007, I found out about the job. I had just been fired from Walmart and I needed to make some money, so I got hired, met a whole bunch of cool people. It was fun going to work every day, and made some pretty good money. I can't lie. For that part of town, what they were paying at that time, it was pretty decent. So money was good, times was good, my life was changing. Had went through a situation, not gonna get too deep into it, but it helped to be able to get out of that situation and financially get back on my feet again. So with that being said, let's cut to the chase. That's good right there. Now, I had left the company in 2009. And when I left the company, I came back again, I would say about 2011. And I was in Walmart that night. I ran into a manager that used to work back in, it wasn't Head Cheese. It was another department that was back where we were working at. Head Cheese is just a big department where different products are made. But I worked in a department called Netted Ham. And the supervisor that I know, he worked in the back area somewhere, but that's besides the point. Anyway, he ran into me and he told me, while I was in Walmart, he ran into me and he told me, come up there tomorrow. They're having an opening house. They hiring people and everything. So I didn't know what to make of it. I showed up. I did the application. I got rehired. The lady came to the gate. She saw me, the only one I was cool with in the office at the time. She saw me. She gave me the application. I filled it out. I'm talking about within 45, 50 minutes. I had a call saying, come to orientation, come back through. So I did. I showed up. I got rehired. And shortly after that, I got fired, 2013. So this particular morning, I had woke up, and this was the morning of January the 11th. And I was kind of iffy about whether I should have went to work or not. And it's not that anybody did anything to me. It's just that I had a bad feeling. And I think that based upon that feeling I was having, I should have stayed home. I should have never took my ass to work, but I did. And when I got to work, that's when the bad things ensued. That's when shit went completely left. Number one, I'm the type of person that deals with energy and I deal with vibes. If I get around somebody and I don't like the vibe or the energy, I tend to move. I tend to get the fuck away from that person or those people. I just don't want, anything to rub off on me that may cause me to have a bad day or may upset me. Sometimes I can avoid it, sometimes I can't. But I just try to get away from people with that negative energy. And for some reason in that plant that day, there was a lot of negative energy. There was arguing, there was friction between two different lines. One line wanted to go home. One line complained about getting off early. That was an ongoing thing at Boar's Head. Everybody knows people work in different departments. And once we start working, you basically don't go home until the whole job is done. Some days you may leave at noon. Some days you may leave at 5 o'clock. I've left there almost 9 o'clock at night. But getting back to this morning, my job was to work on the production line. I did what they call clip hams. So I put the staples in the hams, put them on the belt. I served the hams, which is basically, it's a It's a food product where it's called maple honey. You syrup all the hams. Once you get them all syruped up and you get the flavor, you stick them on what they call trees and you push them around all day. So that was my job. And I operated the pallet jack. So we could add that in there too. Um, in the morning time, we went to a department that was called head cheese. And when we went to the head cheese department, I would dip tongues out of a barrel. And when I would dip the tongues out, which was one of the food processes, I would dump them into what they call a vet. And these were big steel tubs. And I just dump them in there every morning. People would scoop them up, put them in bags, weigh them on the scale. Whatever they did after that is what they did. But because of my size and my height, I was perfect for it. So they chose me to go ahead and do a lot of the dipping and moving and stuff. I didn't mind. I had a good time. I had fun. Hell, me and my coworker used to race with each other to see who could do it the fastest. So every morning I came to work, it was kind of like a little competition. We had fun, especially on the days we was getting off early, you know. I won, by the way. Shout out to my homeboy Warren. Sorry. No, but for real though. Basically this morning, there was a supervisor whose name I'll leave out of the story. But this supervisor, he had a very nasty vibe with me that day. Basically his attitude was off. Something about him just kind of seemed funny. It didn't seem the same. This supervisor, I was cool with. I never had a problem with. I didn't think he had a problem with me, although I thought. But I was doing my job the way I normally would, and I was dipping the tongues. I was putting them in the tub. People were bagging them and processing them. So I'm standing on a ladder. I have to get on the ladder to scoop the tongues out because even though I'm tall, you have to lean down to get into the tongues. And anybody that worked at Boar's Head, they know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the tongues and the process of what has to be done. They know what I'm talking about. But this particular day, this manager had called my name. I heard him. And I dropped the barrel into, the little tongue vat. So I'm getting off of the ladder. I'm looking around trying to find him. I couldn't find this manager. He took off and he went outside the room and he looked like he was angry. I didn't know why. I had no clue. I'll just continue to do my job. About this time, our supervisor would come from the netted ham department and would come over and get us and tell us, hey, it's time to come back to our side so we can start our process and we could get started on our work. So I go back, I get dressed, I put my clothes on, I change out of the old clothes because that's cross-contamination. I can't go from head cheese over to netted ham with the same stuff, so we have to change our clothes. I get changed up. I put my hairnet on. I put my white coat back on, get everything, the way it's supposed to be. I'm getting ready to go to my department so I can start the day. The big supervisor, who rarely comes over there, he came to the department and he made a beeline to me. I don't know why. But when he came to me, he was like, Jarratt, did you just throw something in netted ham? I said, no. I meant head cheese. I said, no. I said, what are you talking about? Get undressed. Get out of here and go to the human resource office. I have the slightest clue what the fuck is going on. I take all my shit off. I run across the street. I'm sitting there and me and this lady that worked in the office, we didn't, let's say, not like each other, but I stayed out of her way. She stayed out of mine. Because I see that this lady was kind of friendly with the management, supervisors, and QAs, and she didn't like the regular workers that much, which this happens in a lot of places. They feel like I'm superior because I'm HR, and basically the workers are just liars. They're just here. They're just a bunch of nobodies. When a supervisor comes to us, we'll just take their side. That's not me even being, over the edge. I'm kind of telling the truth. There's a lot of production jobs that are like that. A lot of jobs in general. They just don't like the regular workers. They just automatically take the word of the supervisor. So I'm sitting over there in the office, and the person comes out of the office, and we have a conversation. And she was like, "Well, why are you here?" I was sent here by the plant manager. He asked me, did I throw something? I told him no. He told me get undressed and go to the office. Apparently, he had went and talked to the manager that was in the back area in Head Cheese. The manager had told him basically a lie. He said I threw my dipping material into the vat, and they said that that was a very dangerous infraction. What the fuck you talking about? I didn't do anything. I did what I normally would do every morning. How is that a dangerous infraction? They gave me a write-up for it. They told me that I was suspended for 3 days. They told me that I was under investigation and that I was not allowed to come back onto the property. So basically, from about Monday till I would say Thursday, I sat home. And then when I called back on Thursday, they said, well, we finally made a decision about your job. Okay, can you tell me over the phone? No, just come to the plant and, today's payday. You can come pick your check up and I'll let you know what's going on then. Can y'all smell bullshit? Can y'all smell it? I can. Here's what happens next. I go to the job. I go to pick up my check. She comes to the gate and she tells me, the lady from the human resource office, you're no longer needed here. You committed a violent infraction. And because you committed that infraction, we've decided to terminate your employment. I just got a new house. I had just gotten my driver's license. I was trying to get an automobile. Everything that I had lost because of a previous situation, I was just getting back. I was getting back on my feet again. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Number one, there's really no jobs in Emporia. And there's really no jobs in Jarratt. So what other options did I have? I just lost the whole house. I just lost the whole job and other financial stuff that I had to pay for and I had to cover. I just lost all that shit because this guy lied on me. Why? I'll never know. Why he turned on me? I can't figure it out. This same supervisor, he used to give me a ride home and I used to give him gas money. And it wasn't every day. It was just every now and then. Me and this dude would kick it. We was cool. We had no issues with one another. Till the day I got fired. I'm going to tell y'all, I was ready to whoop his ass. I was looking for him. Number one, I used to stay, and I mean a real turned up area of Emporia. I used to stay on Goin Street. And where I lived at, it was a courtyard right across the street. And he used to come to that courtyard with another coworker, and they used to get drunk every day. They used to turn up. But when he got me fired, pay attention, he never came over to Goin Street or Reese Street again. I never even saw him in Emporia. It was like he worked in Emporia and he moved in Emporia, but for some strange reason, this one supervisor did not want to come across me. He tried his hardest to duck me. I'm the type of person, I'm very humble. I'm not going to come after you unless you come after me. I'm not going to bother with you unless you bother me. But when you lied on me, you messed up my livelihood. You messed up my money. You messed up my home. You tore up everything that I tried my hardest to build. A lot of people know the situation of why I left Boar's Head. I made a very dumb decision. Being young, dumb, and stupid. And being young, dumb, and stupid cost me a lot. I could have made a lot of money. I could have did a lot of things, but I did something real stupid. And as a result of that, I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of finances, but I had an opportunity to get it back. And this person telling a lie on me, they ruined everything. At this point, it was decided that they wanted to have a review meeting. So I said, if I have somebody that's basically a part of the union in which I was paying for, they should be able to represent me. And hopefully what happened to me can be overlooked. It can be reversed, because all the witnesses that wrote statements, their statements were along with me. Jarratt didn't do anything. We don't know what this man's problem is. Basically, we didn't see him do anything, but because of his title and who he was, he's believed in the Human Resource Office. He was believed by the other members of management. In fact, 2 of the management wasn't even there, and they gonna give their input. How the fuck you gonna give input on somebody and you not even at work? You wasn't even around. And you done went to the HR office and ran your mouth and got me fired, basically. So you got 2 supervisors who weren't even at work. You got another supervisor who told a lie. And then you have the head person of the plant all together in the HR office talking about me, telling lies, causing a bunch of damn drama. I should have known when I requested that meeting and they said yes, and I came back, that I still wasn't going to get rehired. But I'm thinking, I'm with the union. They're going to investigate it. They're going to look at it. And once they find out this is bullshit, I'm going to get my job back. I went back for the review meeting on that Monday. After the Friday when I got my check, that Monday I went up there and they had a new lady that was the head lady in HR. This woman didn't know me from a can of paint. But let me tell you what she says when I get in the meeting. I just met this person. And when I met the person, they seemed nice. They seemed cool. They seemed like a very, very good supervisor to talk to. They seem like a very genuine person. So I tend to listen to them. I'm sitting there like, there goes my job. There goes everything I work for. She basically sided with the guy that worked in that department, that was the manager, that had written all this stuff up, caused all this confusion. About halfway before she finished, I walked out. I couldn't take no more. I got up, I walked out, and I just went on to the gate because I knew what they had planned to do. And they did. They fired me officially, told me not to come back. I'm done. I can't work there any longer. They basically made me look like a violent monster. They made me look like this terrible person. They went back and I don't know what was told to my coworkers. I don't know what was told to the people that work there. I mean, if you worked there at the time, you can leave it in the comments, inbox, or whatever it might be. But my name was tore up. My reputation was tore up. I didn't do anything wrong. I say the same thing to this day. I didn't. I don't know what his problem was. I don't know why he went off. I don't know, why he did what he did. But, I was angered by that. It took everything in me to keep from coming up there confronting this person. Because even when I got fired, they were bad-mouthing me. They were sitting up there talking with other coworkers, making little comments and stuff. And, I felt that was wrong on a lot of levels. You don't want to tell me to my face, but you're talking shit behind my back. And then you're too much a coward to come around where I live at. You used to come around where I lived, not to my house, but you used to sit across the street every day and drink. And then once you got me fired, you didn't want to come through Ree Street no more. You didn't want to come through Going Street. I mean, that's coward-ass behavior. But long story short, this is what happens on that day. This is how I got fired. That's how it went down. A lot of dirty people in the Human Resource Office. A lot of folks that basically, I guess, didn't like me for whatever reason. Took the other person's side, got me fired, cost me my job. And I went through hell after that. I went through a couple of months of living with people, not having nowhere to stay, and it wasn't no fun, man. It's different when you have your own place and then you lose it and you got to start over and you got to come from the bottom, and then people talking about you. You don't have no job, they got to help you. You got to lay on the couch for a little bit, or you got to lay on the floor. I mean, it's an uncomfortable feeling, but I had to do it. A lot of people had to go through it, and it is what it is. I'm a better person for it today. I'm doing far better than I was doing before. I got my own company. I do my own thing. I call my own shots. Every now and then I'm human. I got to pick up a little job on the side, make a little bit of money to fund what I'm doing. But it is what it is. I'm in a lot better position. The God I serve has blessed me, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the ancestors surrounding me and protecting me, and everybody that's working with me to continue to try to make me a better person. So I love y'all. I'm out. Wanted to tell my side of the story, and there it is. Lies, drama, and confusion. But through it all, at the end of the day, your boy's still standing. And that's the story of the setup in Jarratt, Virginia. That's what happened to me. That's why I got fired. And that's why I no longer work there. So there you have it. Until next time, I'm out.